Hello YouTube, thanks for joining me. My name is Kino and for the first time ever we're not in Kalapolis. Today we're in my design world because I've had lots of questions about my use of bubble column elevators. For those of you that have followed my series so far, you will see that I've got a slight obsession with these. But that's because I think they're the easiest way to go up very long distances. So today I'm going to show you exactly how easy they are to make and how quickly we can do it. Now, for those of you that don't know, when Mojang introduced magma blocks and soul sand into the game, they also introduced a mechanic whereby you could move water up and down. Now, for this one today, we're going to use soul sand because that pushes the water up and everything that's in the water. So along with the soul sand, we're also going to need some buttons, as many blocks as you need depending on how high you want to build it, a water source, some kelp to turn the water into sources, and some sand. All we need is this small area here because we're just going to build a slight diamond. Now the diamond is going to be 4 blocks with one space in the middle. Here is where you get to build as high as you want. Obviously this is a lot easier in creative than it is survival. The only thing that really limits how high you want to go is turning the water into source blocks later by planting the kelp can make it hard to breathe. Obviously if you've got water breathing potions you can go even higher. But if you haven't, this does limit it. You may have to build a couple of these. But once we build these to the top, we're going to take our water and we'll place it here. That makes a water source block at the top. Now the rest of them below are falling water. So we are going to have to turn that into source blocks by planting the kelp. In doing so, we're going to make a door at the bottom and place these buttons. These buttons will stop the water from flowing. At the moment, we don't need one at the top here because this is the source block. But if we take this out, that just shows us what we don't want to happen. So we place the button back there. Now you can use signs, you can use gates, but I prefer the buttons just because they're a bit smaller. As I said, inside here, we need to turn this into source blocks. So to do so, we're going to take this out. We'll put sand in there. We'll put sand in there. And we're just going to plant kelp all the way to the top. And this is where in survival it may get a bit tricky. Once that's all the way to the top, you take yourself to the bottom, bash the bottom block of kelp, and these are now all source blocks. Meaning if we put this soul sand in here, you should see the bubbles rising, and that is our bubble column elevator working. Now this works fine, and we can leave it like this. However, we don't want to. We're going to place a lid on the top just so that we know where to stop. And if we take out these top 2 here, oh, the water's going. Put a button, and that button stops that flow. And that's a perfect example of why we use the buttons. Now if we build a platform coming out, just anything 3, or it can be a whole floor, that is, in essence, our bubble column elevator completed. If we just walk into the bottom here, the soul sand pushes the water upwards, which pushes you, and we're now at the top of where we want to go, which is amazing. But how do we get down? Now there are fancy contraptions, such as this one that I've done in my creeper farm, which uses redstone. So once I press that button, at the bottom there is a series of redstone linked to a piston, which is now swapping over the soul sand for a magma block. The magma block drags the water down, and after a couple of seconds you can see the bubbles actually start going downwards and drag you down. Now we're not going to do that one today. I'm not going to show you how to build that. I'm just going to show you the quickest and easiest way by placing another platform here. This is also quite a good way to save materials as well because you won't need a lot of redstone. But we are going to need another column here just to go down. So we're going to match the same height as the one next door. I have done this in deep slate tiles because these are my favourite blocks at the moment. But you can obviously use whatever you like, anything that's that matches your build at the time. Now place a top on there. We don't need buttons because there isn't going to be any water in this one. But we do need a front, otherwise we are going to hurt ourselves. We just take that all the way up. Once we get to the top there, that is our diamond completed. At the bottom, we're going to have another door. We're just going to make it look a tiny bit nicer, just so I can show you what you kind of need to build. And I also like changing this now. I might change this front here. You don't need to do this. I'm just doing it because it highlights the area we're looking at. And then we're going to place 2 water source blocks in the bottom there. Because in Minecraft Bedrock, you can fall from any height. As long as you fall into water, you'll survive. So here we're going to use the bubble column elevator to go up. That takes us to the top. And when we want to drop down, we drop in. Now I've got 2 water sources at the bottom there because I am a bit paranoid, but in theory you only need 1. But that is our bubble column elevator working. So guys, if that has worked for you and you do want some more tips, please do like, follow, share and subscribe. Build like no one's watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.